Hello everyone. So we continue today. We have a new devlog session, and I'm currently working on some binding generation for Qt, and we'll continue with that. The thing is, I have actually an application that is written in Python. It's called CryptoView, and that is used to display some cryptocurrency information. I can actually just try to run that quickly. CryptoView. Except that I haven't been updating this application for a while, and the mechanism itself is a bit yeah, max price page, yeah, pretty large. So the mechanism itself is interesting, but it's relying on data from CoinGecko, and yeah, I usually have quite a few problems with that. I mean, I could keep using CoinGecko, but I would need to do it in a different way because I was trying to get data every 5 minutes, and at some point you're hitting the rate limit when you have too many tokens like that. So that doesn't work anymore. And right now, I think everything is broken. I don't know why. So anyway, the idea is I want to reproduce this application, but this time in Lua with my new bindings for QT6. So currently, this is what I'm doing, and I guess I can close this one now. I'm basically focusing on this panel only for the moment. And so the corresponding application is this one. Yeah, just a few placeholders for the moment, but I'm going to work on that. And we can still use some kind of requests, and I'm using libcurl to do that, working pretty well. And you can, for instance, make a request to Binance and get the value of the BTC price. So where are we at? Okay, so I was working on this coin overview panel, and in there I'm using coin widgets. These are coin widgets, and I'm not quite sure what should be my next step. Actually, let me just think for 1 second about that. Okay, so I've been trying to think about what I should be doing next, and now I think really I need to get a bit outside of the GUI design itself. I need to provide a mechanism to be able to run additional threads and perform steps on those threads to get some actual data that we need to display in there. For instance, here's the request I'm making here. It's done on the main thread. I don't really want to do that because this is blocking, and you want to do that outside of the rendering thread. So for this, initially I was thinking, I don't know why exactly, yeah, because I've seen a reference to that, about libEV, and there's a binding for that in Lua EV or something like that. But then I started to Google this thing, trying to find what is a link between Node.js and Lua, because I remember I've seen that at some point, and that's actually the Luvit project. Luvit is Lua plus libUV and GIT. And if you go on the main page, you will see that, yeah, it's basically using Lua GIT, I think. I know it's not there. I mean, what is it? That's lit is another thing again. Anyway, yeah, it's using Lua GIT plus this libUV thing, which is the base of Node.js, I believe. It's not there. Where is it? Well, I assume that. Never mind. So from there, you I could consider using this, but to me it seems that this is already a full Lua environment per itself. Okay, it's using GIT, yes. Okay, so I may have to get back to this somehow, but right now I rather think I would like to go to the first initial steps, and I would be try to figure out what we do with this UV library. This is a list of packages that you can use, but I don't really want that. And then I was comparing libUV with libEV, and actually libEV is a pretty simple thing compared to libUV, which is really everything you may want to use. It's a single threaded. Require multi-thread library. Okay, so you definitely want to use libUV. So let's give it a try and see what you can do for the compilation of that. We have CMake, cool. With CMake, build testing on off. That's a test part, we don't want that. Cross compilation, we don't need this. Okay, so basically that's what we need. Build. Let's make a copy of this. Oh, 3000. And I don't have my account here. Let me do that on another computer. Oh, close the page. Damn it. Reopen. So I'm doing this on another computer right now because I just need to fork the repository. Okay, and meanwhile, let's get back to NervLand project. We're going to add the support for this libUV compilation. So we go into the config for nervproj. Here we have the list of libraries that we can compile. So we'll take, I guess this is going to be similar to this one then. So that will be libUV, and it's going to be libUV. Now we need the version number for this project. libUV, do we have some kind of version, please? Versioning. Release. Oh, it's pretty old. No, 10 hours ago. Doesn't seem to be an updated version number. So I guess we can just use this version here, latest. Or find somewhere a version number. UV version, let's find this file. 1.44.3. Good. So this is a version that I will use here, 1.44.3. Okay, now we have this library which is ready, and we need to prepare a builder for this. And it's building using CMake, so I can probably just copy this one and I'll call that libUV. Visual Digital Code is always taking a long time to rename my files, but never mind. So then everywhere we replace this with libUV, and then what do we do? On Windows, you're just going to run CMake, the build folder with a prefix, and you build this location. Not quite. I think you're building outside of the sources according to the instruction that you have on the main page here. So let's go down a little bit. Building. Make the build CMake blah blah. Build testing, no, CMake dash build. Ready? I mean, I have something else to do that. If I go for what is the latest one, this one was the latest one. I can use that. So I just need to provide those flags. That's the source folder, and then the flags, yes. Equal flags. And then you run Ninja to do the actual building. So with only that, we should be able to build this library already, if everything goes right. So we'll give it a try. Build labs libUV. So this process is going to clone the repository. So this part may take a while, so I'm pausing the video. Okay, so building was started, but now it's failing. Oh, wait a second. Oh yeah, I'm not running that in the proper folder. Sure, makes sense. When you use those flags, eventually you have to go into the subfolder. And this is where you want to run Ninja. So let's give it another try. I mean, can I use the existing library? I'm not sure this would work for... Oh, it's working. Okay. Okay, that was almost too easy. So we now have this, it's in the NervProj libraries for MSVC. We have this libUV with the shared library. That's probably the static library and dynamic one. Okay, and the includes. All right, that seems to be pretty simple in the end. And this also prepared for us this package, which is very small, but I need to keep track of that. So we'll place that into my dev in the package libraries. And let's put this one over there. Next step is to try to do the same building, but this time with CLang to see if this is working fine. I'm going to check out the repository again, so it's going to take some time. We'll leave it and let it do its things. Meanwhile, I was thinking maybe I should have a look at what are the bindings actually that we can get, because Luvit, so this one is going to use LuV and let what is LuV? LLuv. Okay, these are the bindings. So maybe this one is something we can use already instead of generating our own bindings. Lua GIT, blah blah blah. A thread is assumed to load the library from a different Lua state. Okay, so you need multiple Lua states to have one state per thread, I guess. Luv will create a unique maybe a loop for each state. You can share UV handles between states and loop. Makes sense. So let me just read a bit. Okay, so I've been looking into this documentation part, and so we have documentation for libUV in Lua, so Luv here. So it's describing that we have quite a lot of content here, so those handles are binded. I didn't really pay attention to the details here, but the documentation seems to be pretty complete, so when I will need that, I could get back to this part. So probably it's a good idea to keep track of this. So let's let me just copy that. So compile libUV library and binding. So let's say Luv documentation, and the other one, it's this one. This is the libUV documentation. Okay, so I have just added where is this? It's NervLand. Yeah, I'm on this devlog number 7, and I added those links here as reference. Anyway, let's get back to it's not building. Why that? Multiple rule to generate UV point lib. Okay, I guess I have a problem sometimes with clang that gets this reproduce. I think it's going. It may work if I use another generator, but I'm not sure that really makes sense. Well, for the sake of it, we can give it a try. I was using nmake, for instance, here, and I think this one is more stable than Ninja, but it's way smaller, of course. Smaller, way slower. But anyway, we can try that and do the installation, and let's just give it another try again. And we say U to reuse the checkout. And okay, you expect to... doesn't quite work. Whoops. So anyway, it doesn't really matter. We can just say that for now we cannot build that. With clang, but it's not critical because we already have the library for MSVC, so you can actually just reuse that. Let me see, there's nothing special about this library here. No, probably not. So you can just say libUV, where is it? Lib UV, this one. I'm going to duplicate this and call that Windows CLang. Okay, which means that if I ask to build for CLang now, then it's simply going to extract my existing package. So now we should have the library available here, libUV, which is exactly the same as for MSVC. All right, then I guess we could also give it a try and try to build that on Linux. So let me try to do that. Oh, and I need to commit those changes, of course. So we have added the library here and we have added the builder. So I mean, it's not really this one that I would like to pull. I like to pull everything. Okay, so let's try to build this library now. MVP build libs libUV. libUV. Now this is going to use CLang again, but hopefully it's working better on Linux. And here we go. So if I have a look at the that's dev project so here we have the package corresponding to this folder, libUV. We have the include folder, and in the lib folder we have the shared library and static library too. So this package, once again, we need to put that into the repository of available libraries. So I can just move it there. And this is it for the building of libUV in both Windows and Linux. But now I need to continue, in fact, with this other task, building the new libraries on Linux, because I was working on a few new libraries. And I only built that on Windows so far. So where are they? They are, I mean, we can see them at the end of this list here. Starting with, oh, actually even starting with this one. HDF5, can we build that on Linux? Let's try. Oh, let's see the builder maybe first. Yeah, probably not going to build that properly. On Linux, we need to do something similar at least. So we need to get the zlib folder. And you need to get git access also. I'm not sure why. I know, no, that's because I think we needed bash, but I will not be necessary on Linux. So you can probably just go with that. You get the library where you have installed zlib, and we are on Linux, so the only thing we get is this one. In this case, you don't even need this part because you are on Windows. I can make this common build build function, but yeah. So you can use flags, and then again you need to go in the subfolder before you run Ninja. So you will have zlib available. So let's say this is and that's actually a bit of a pain because I need to send the updates every time I do an update, so probably should change my repository here. So let's do open recent. Do we have this? Yeah, this one. This one should be all we need. Because now we have the builder in there. HDF5, we have the changes we just made. And now let's try to do the building of again, I'm not quite sure this one is big or not, so let's wait a moment. Okay, so we now have HDF5 build process continuing. So a few warnings, but apparently nothing critical. So let's just wait until this is done. Alright, so installation in process, and I guess installation is working fine. We're just generating the final package now. So this one seems to be okay. After this one, the next one was OpenJPEG. So let's see what we have for builder for OpenJPEG. Okay, we're just using the default thing, so should just work out of the box. What about this package? It's done. Let's try to move this package now. So we're on Linux and we have this package. So we need to move that into the repository. Okay. So as I said, now we try to do the compilation for OpenJPEG. This one is not so big, so we can just wait a moment. Or maybe not. Okay, building OpenJPEG. And it's done. Again, we have the package generated here, and we just move that. The next one, libPNG, okay. So for this one, we also need access to the zlib. So we need to do something similar to what we have here. And we should provide the flags. And actually the source folder is really not needed. You can just not specify that, I think. Let me just check that. Maybe I should keep it. I mean, this one here, we keep it, and this one we'll try without. We'll see. All right, it's done. So I guess we can just not keep it and remove it, even for Windows. CMake is just going to use the current folder by default, so there's no point to add this point. Right, so we need to move this library package. Next one, netcdf. I'm not sure I did build this one. No, I don't have a builder yet. Oh, this one I may need eventually for my work part. So yeah, let's have a look. I think it's a bit more tricky, yes. And I don't really want to go and duplicating all those flags. So what we do is another function, which is get flags. That's where I would have this is Windows thing. And for libENG, what is naming convention? Let me see. Just maybe this one 16.a. Okay. And for OpenJPEG, I'm not sure I need the actual library itself, so we'll see. We're going to build exactly the same way. OpenJPEG will be version 2.5. Then you can get the flags and you can provide those flags. I also don't think we need this update for the path. We probably don't need this patching either, because this are MSVC specific patches. What? Get flags. That should be okay. No? So we can just do something similar to that, and we'll be running Ninja, I guess. Generator, we're not going to modify it. Using Ninja by default, and then we can run this one. So, oh no, not here. Okay, that was pretty easy compared to the trouble I had on Windows. While it's finishing, let me just add a few entries. So build a new library on Linux. This were, what did I build? The first one was HD5. Then we had OpenJPEG, and we had libPNG. Let's specify the version maybe. HD5, it's version 1.15.0, OpenJPEG 2.5.0, 1.6.39. Then we didn't build netcdf. We might get back to that at some point, but not right now. EC codes 2.29.0, and libUV, we've done that already. In fact, I should specify at the top the libUV 1.44.3. Okay, so this is an updated list of tasks that we covered in this devlog. The compilation of this, we've done the library itself, but we have not done the bindings, so we need to have a look at the bindings maybe now. But first, let me just also copy the corresponding package for EC codes. So we should have now these are the executables, but in there we should have this, yes, shared library. So when I get back to working on Linux, I'll be using this. That's cool. So now we can move that. And so this point we can say is covered. So let's move the other task down. What about the bindings now? So let's maybe also commit the changes here, but actually I can't really do it here. I need to do it from the command line. Yeah, okay, so now we get back to Windows. So I switch my workspace, and I can pull the changes on NervLand. Which means I should have the updated content. Yes. And now let's have a look at this Luv library. So what are we going to do with this? We have sources here. We have a lot of sources. Okay. And I can probably just fork this already, but not from here. So I need to copy this location and go on my other computer. So what exactly do we need? Depths. So you'll be relying on libUV. Examples that could be useful, but not strictly necessary. this. No, come on. These are some Lua library things, so rock spec, we don't need it. We need the sources for sure. What about the license? Okay, it seems that I have the right to copy that and modify it. I'm not going to modify it, but I'm going to integrate the sources into my build system. So we'll be using CMake here. Everything else is not really relevant to me, I think. So let's see what we have in CMake. So you could link with static or dynamic. We need access to libUV, makes sense, and otherwise you use your internal dependency, which I'm not going to provide at all. If Lua. What is this? It's interesting. Why would you include only one source file while you have so many of them? Okay, so that's why. Okay, that's cool. So, not sure we need this one. Anyway, we have this repository now, so I need to make a copy of this. Let's grab the URL. All right. So now if we get back to our project folder, we have this Luv folder, and we should get back to NervLand sources, Lua module, and let's add a new one, which should be Luv. And then I don't remember exactly how I'm organizing and everything. Yeah, I guess I can put everything at in the root folder. Yes, should work. So we take what we need, which is going to be what we have in the sources here. Copy that here. Yes. While we are at it, we definitely need to keep the license, so let's put the license in there. Then there is this library part. I'm not quite sure what you need to do with that, but we'll see. I'll be preparing a samples folder. Yes, example. So we'll take this. Again, just keeping the license just in case. We don't have any dependency to use for the building itself. We provide that ourselves. Then we'll be creating our own CMake file. What else do we need? Maybe this library thing. I'm not sure what to do with that. In the examples, what do we have? Require Luv. Yeah, but we have something like examples. It's not here, it's in the docs. Luv. That would be something like require utils. No. So just utils. Not quite. What are those files about? Seems to be running some unique tests. I don't know. So for now, I don't see the need for those do Lua files. So yeah, let's not use this for now. So let's say I don't need to provide them. We still need to provide some CMake file. So let's go into, let's close a bit all of this. Too many things. No, it's in the modules file folder. Then you can use maybe not this one, maybe rather this one. Yes, just copying this into the target folder. So the module we're going to generate is called Luv, and place that directly in modules. What are the file that you need to use and it as input? It's only the luv.c, and also no, not really. Don't public header. Am I using that? Yeah, but not that critical. And we provide the luv.def. So we'll take this. And version number, it's going to be, I have no idea. Not here, please. Nope. Where do you define your version? Not here, please. Okay, so maybe it's not defined here, it's defined on the command line or something. Where can I find a version number? Well, it's using the same version number as libUV apparently. Anyway, let's just put version 1.44. Export, and it's going to export this one most definitely. Let's just figure out if we really have this. I would be in this file before, and here we have it. And I think that the only one we are opening, yes, so we don't need more complexity than this. So we need this include. That is probably not needed or anyhow. We're going to build a shared library, and this is it. Anything special from the CMake file, maybe? Oh, we actually have the version here. Blah 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 blah. Let me just read that carefully, and I'll resume the recording just after. One thing we definitely need is access to this libUV, of course. So let's update our environment accordingly. In the NervLand project, we first need to provide this dependency. So we need to go into the configuration file, and we say that libUV dir should point to the libUV dependency. Then where we have this CMake file, we should include directory libUV include, and we also need to link directory. It's linked directories or linked directory? Directories, okay. So that should be libUV. Oh, libUV dir. Lib, and the library we need to link to is, good question. If we link to this one, it's going to be the static linking. Why not? So libuv.lib, and otherwise on Linux, libuv.a hopefully should work. So let's just specify libuv. No, it's at this point. Alright, so now we need to also request the building of this folder. So we had never add subdirectory Luv. And now it's time to give it a try. Let's get back to our main folder, and we'll do nvp L build. Of course. Compat, yes, I probably just should get rid of this part. Damn it. Private. Where is private? So where do we have this? We can just probably just add this empty file. Yeah, let's do it. Will be easier. So we can revert that, and we do new file compat 5.3.h with no content. Still on a roll. Lua lib API. Really? DLL import. Thing is, if we define, if we use Lua build as DLL, we're going to be in trouble. Why are you using? Oh, come on. So you are going to include those libraries, but then you are going to call that. But the thing is, this is defined in Lua as Lua API. And you don't really want that. So yeah, go away. When I'm done including that in in luv.h, I'm going to redefine this. That's Lua lib. It should be defined to just nothing, because we're using the def to do the export anyway. Nope. So what is wrong here? One error. What is the error? I don't see what is the error. That's a bit of a pain. Warning, warning. Error. Too many argument function call expected 3 F4. Lua dump. Oh. Interesting. What is this one? What is a B? Lua buffer. Let's see what is supposed to be. Let's say we need I don't see why there would be a 1. Yeah, but I'm not quite using Lua 5.4, so... Oof. I guess maybe the compat was doing something. Let's see. Where could I find that? Compat. Nah. No one is providing this? Come on. Never mind. So we made this modification and then we can give it another try. Still not. Because you need socket. Okay, so if we go into there, we can probably just add the flavor labs. And that would provide us with the socket library. No. Oh, quite a few things missing. Lua RowLAN. What is that? Come on, this is not meant for Lua GIT. So yeah, I really need some kind of compatibility. Where am I going to find that? Maybe in the Lua GitHub repository. Yeah, that's a bit of a pain. Let me just handle that. Okay, so I found this Lua Compat 5.3 project, and I think that this is what we need here because it's providing this additional files, and it's actually providing additional function and everything, and it's in fact fixing this dump function that we just changed. So let's try to maybe just get those files and place them in what about the license actually? MID license, I think, yeah, this is pretty permissive. I wonder if I need all this, I'm not sure. I hope not. So let's take this file, row, and we put that in the NervLand sources module, Luv. As a H file. Yeah, replace it. And we'll do the same thing with the C file, which I believe is going to be included. Okay, so let's see what we have in this one. So are you including the source or not? I have no idea. It might be included here, but we might not need that. Okay, so let's give it another try again. And we need this get adapter addresses. So let's see where this is from. Right. So we need to get back to the flavor. Flavor libraries on Windows, and we need to add this one. And now let's try building once more. Still not. Lua dump. Oh yeah, now where was that? It was in thread, and we need to revert this back. No, okay. Undefined. Okay, though this one is missing. User profile directory. Let's see. User F. And here we are, finally. So we got this new module, and hopefully we can open that and use it. Would be good to give it a try, but first I probably should What are all this? Yeah, the examples and everything. Okay. So adding support for loop bindings. All right. We also need to deal with the Linux compilation. But as I said, first we probably want to give it a try and see if we can use this library at least. Let's start with checking where this is located and all. NervLand test module. We have it here. Can we maybe check what are the dependencies? So it will depend on this library, which is missing, and then we're linking to the static version of libUV. So it's not in the list. That's okay. Next, we need to try a test, a small test at least. So let's have a look at what we stored in the documentation for UV example. The most simple one, maybe timers. Oh, here is where we would use this libutils. I guess we could try that one. Oh, this one is even more new idle. Okay, idling. Let's try this one instead then. Idle basic. Can you copy all that? And we say that, yeah, can copy that. In this Lua, we go into the test folder. And we say this is a new test for Luv. And basically we want to return that as a function, yes. Next, let's add a mechanism to run this. And now we can try it. Was this running? I mean, print is maybe not the best option. I'm not sure what print is going to do. I mean, print should print, right? Oh yeah, we have idling here, and then it's printing that at the end. But actually, when is this finishing? Oh, that's when you would stop. Let's say log debug stopping. I have no idea what this counter is. Yeah. Good, working just fine. Okay, so now we have the working integration of this Luv bindings for the libUV inside the NervLand environment, which is great. So what do I have? I just added the minimal test for Luv here. All right, and I think with this we have covered the step that I wanted to cover on this session, and actually the recording is already pretty long, so yeah, we're here and those 2 points are covered. So I'm going to stop this video recording, and yeah, we'll continue this in another session another time. So thanks for watching, and bye bye.